Happy Tuesday to you, everyone. We are continuing down the trail today. So now it starts to get a little bit more exciting than simply doing sit pads. But again, that is a foundation. Those pads, do not ignore them. So many people do. They think, wow, my dog's doing great on these, so I can go ahead and just advance. Go take this thing on a lot sooner than what you should. I don't care how well your dog is doing the sit pads. You do those and do about 40 to 60 of them total between the circular pads and the triangular pads. Okay, so here's our progression so far. We did the circular pads. Then we moved over and we did what's called funnel pads, where we now start the dog here at the top. The dog weaves its way back and forth, going outside the boundaries and turning in, outside the boundaries, turning, all the way down to here where the boundaries are closer. The corridor becomes more narrow, and then it shoots out at the end. So today we're going to take a couple of big steps here in our tracking. One, we're going to use less treats. So now the dog's going to have to search a little bit more, a little bit harder to find treats. And two, we're going to make a straight track that we will not allow the dog to backtrack. Up here, we didn't care what direction the dog went. It could go this way, that way, this way, that way, every direction of the compass. No one really cared at this point. Same thing with here. Just kind of want the dog to kind of work its way down, and they kind of naturally do on their own. But now here, on a straight line track, no backtracking. Now, one thing that we did is we kind of staggered our steps, more natural type stepping. We just took smaller steps. My stride is typically about 1.5 to 2 feet, depending upon the terrain and what speed in which I'm moving. I brought them in much closer. They almost kind of like a toe to heel. A toe to heel, a toe to heel, toe to heel. So again, a little bit tighter today than what you would normally take your strides, but don't scuff your feet. Do not scuff your feet. You create too much scent. And too much scent would be like you walk into a flower shop and going, whoa, it smells great, but gosh, it really smells. And it's a big detractor from your dog. It'll actually cause your dog to raise their head up off the trail. It's too much for them. So trust in the contact, trust in moving around, no big deal. Just again, heel to toe for right now, side by side, not direct heel to toe in a straight line, but as you saw me with my feet are parallel to one another moving down the track. And then just drop a couple of treats along the way. Tomorrow we'll concentrate on exactly where the treats are placed. Exactly, but not today. When you do these tracks here, these trails, maybe about 50 feet to start with, then expand it out to about 100 feet. Again, like the scent pads, do 3 or 4 of these. Set them all up, hop off. Go set up another one, hop off. Go set up another one. You kind of getting in the rhythm now, okay? Kind of like that old step right, pull right type thing. Step right, now go lay a trail right. Step right, go lay a trail right. Just kind of work it, guys. It's a lot of fun, a lot of exercise. You're outdoors. Stay with it. This is now where we actually start to make some progress that actually looks like a dog is tracking. You ready to see it? Okay, here we go. We're going to do it, Captain. Lay my little pad over here. Okay, so over here, you'll see my starting flag right there. And then about 50 feet in that direction is my flag. When you're laying these beginning little trails, you don't have to pay too much attention to the wind at this point. There are other days, atmospheric conditions will play a huge role as to how your dog will perform and what you will need to do to help your dog go down the track correctly. But that day, again, is not today. We're still working on fundamentals. Okay, so I'm going to take Captain off the short leash, put him on his long leash. As soon as I can find a D-ring on this darn thing. There you go, cow dog. Okay, then I'm going to take him right up to the starting flag, and I'm going to give the command to track. Track. Again, we are not chatterboxes. My job is now to allow him to go off the track, should he need to step beyond the corridor, but no more than about 1 foot or 2 off the track. No, right there, track. So right there, you saw him go backwards. I now align him to now move forward. So wants to spin around. That's going to be natural. They were allowed to do that in the scent pass. So now you just make him continue to go this way. Track. So that means you got to short leash it, short leash it. You can guide him with your hand, no problem. There we go. Now we're starting to go somewhere. Notice my proactive stance here. I'm right here next to him, kind of serving as a physical corridor on the right side. Track. Again, you're seeing his head come up because there's not as many treats. So now he needs a little bit of help, and sometimes he'll look up at me for guidance, and that's okay for right now. Track. Track. No. Track. Attaboy, cow dog. Good job. And then you just hop right off that track with your dog. Give him some praise. Don't get it overzealous about it. Again, tracking is methodical. It is calm, it's moving, it's thinking, it's working. It is very peaceful and should remain that way. Do not get your dog overly excited. Now, I don't know if you were able to hear, I tried to get down really low with my microphones. But man, Captain was sucking up the earth like a vacuum cleaner. It was, I mean, just really, you could just hear him pull that scent in. And also along the way, you heard that gentle correction and guidance. One time he turned around, I finally said no. I used my hand, directed him back to the track, and got his nose back on the track. You're going to need to do the same thing. And you also notice too, and I told you at the very beginning, that when you first train with a dog, especially if you've been doing luring, every time your hand does this, they want to go to the hand because the hand holds the treat. You will have to continue to convince them that the treat is no longer in your hand. It's found on the trail. On the trail. Okay, so there you go, guys. In review, just real quick, it's okay to have your flags now. Again, as we move further along the track, we'll start talking about eliminating flags. You'll have to navigate by line of sight or use another means which will not be completely obvious to your dog. But as you saw, Captain, he really didn't focus on the flags. They won't really at this point. Plus, the orange flags are difficult to see. Again, they would see the movement before they would see the color of the flags. Guide them down the trail. Stand up there next to them if you have to. The days of you following the dog on the track, those are coming. But again, that day is not today. Today, we are a team. I'm going to be up here guiding him, making sure that he stays on the track, making sure he doesn't wander too far off. It's okay to go off. Undisturbed. Disturbed, treat. Undisturbed, no treat. Disturbed, treat. There were just less treats. So in his mind, from having done the scent pads, he thinks, well, are we finished? Because there's no more treats. We must be finished. I think I ate all the treats on the scent pad. No, this is you doing this over and over again is where he starts to learn, oh, there's treats out here. They're just spread out a little bit more. Yeah, this pad has gotten really narrow out here. And you, Bryan, have become far more involved. But that's okay. You guys are a team. So keep working it straight down these trails, straight down. Make them all straight line. Tomorrow we'll get into turns. We'll talk about turning, and we'll talk about where the placement of the treat will have to be if your dog ever wants, if you ever want to teach your dog how to intersect a track. For example, someone is lost, they come across their trail. How do they know which way to go? How do they know? Back to the first responders that are looking for them, or in the direction where the person is lost? That building, that ability starts tomorrow. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. But in the meantime, guys, over the next couple of weeks and months, again, we're moving fast through this tracking series. I would do this right here, 50 feet all the way to 100 feet. I would do, again, another 30 or 40 of them. So from the beginning, from my circular scent pad to the end of this, where I'm ready to turn, I'm probably a solid 3 weeks of tracking underneath my belt. 3 weeks to a month. It does not happen overnight if you want to do it right. Okay, so keep that in your head. All right, that's it for today, guys. A cold day, the molecules are contracted. It's going to make your dog work a little bit harder. You're going to have to work a little bit harder as well, just trying to stay warm. But try not to think about the cold. Really try to focus on what your dog's doing when it's going down this track. Okay, so stay tuned for tomorrow. Don't miss tomorrow. Tomorrow is a very pivotal moment. I got to kind of work because we're going to work on turns tomorrow. Okay, guys, so I'll see you tomorrow. Get out there and get the practicing, okay? Get them in. Let me know how your dog's doing. Take care.